Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. I have a book review. Actually, I have a 3-pack book review for you guys. I decided to just sort of like put them together since it is a series. So if you don't follow me on other socials, I always put my book reviews on my Instagram. I always do them on my Facebook page. And if you have any groups in common with me, I'm in all the book groups. So I have been like on a romance kick lately. I go through phases. I read a really intense thriller a few weeks ago, and it was just, do you ever read something and it just kind of like is heavy? Like it's so heavy and you feel that it's heavy, and so you just need like something light and easy to read. So I read a book a few weeks ago that was like super heavy, and it was a little graphic, and so I was like, I need something like light and airy and maybe steamy. I don't know. Let's see what I can find. And so I started looking, like following all my bookstagrammers, and I don't know where I found this, but I found this little series. Okay, it's by Tessa Bailey. This was the first I have ever read of hers. And you guys, I freaking loved this series. So it's a three-part series. I actually read them out of order, so they're standalones, but the characters are all intertwined. And I really, really love them. So the first one is called Fix Her Up. Now, these are romance, okay? I think I gave this one like a 4 out of 5 in the spice department. So yeah, there's some steaminess in here, and it's so good. Okay, so this one is about Georgie and Travis. Travis is a Major League Baseball player who has a career-ending injury, and he comes home to his hometown, and he basically is having like a pity party of one, and he's holed up in his garage apartment, drinking all the time. And Georgie is Travis's best friend's little sister, who has been in love with Travis her entire life, but she's all grown up now, right? So she breaks into his apartment. He's sleeping naked. She throws ramen at him, tells him to get up, stop feeling sorry for himself. And she basically just like inserts herself into his life. And at first he's like, oh my God, she's Steven's annoying little sister. And then as time goes on, we all know, tale as old as time, he starts having feelings for her. She's obviously loved him like forever. And one thing leads to another, and it's kind of their story, right? Like, do they end up together? I don't know, but there are some definite like steamy scenes. And I really love this. Now, it wouldn't be a romance book without some sort of like drama involved. I don't want to give too much away, but I did give it 4 stars. It was exactly what I was looking for. It had all the spice I wanted. It had a cute storyline. I loved it. And I really like the cover, you guys. I have to tell you, okay, so the series is called Hot and Hammered. It's so good. I love that one. The second one is actually the one I read last, and this was my least favorite. And I don't know if it's because it was about a married couple, but basically we have Rosie and Dominic. They have been together since junior high, when he walked up to her in front of all her friends and asked her to the dance. She said maybe, and he said, a maybe from you is better than a yes from anyone else, and we all enter the swoons, right? They've been together since middle school. They've been married a decade. I think maybe that resonated with me because I've been married to my husband for a decade, so, I mean, we're happily married, but every marriage always has, like, your little quirks. Dominic went overseas, came back, very quiet, okay? So it was just a little heavier for me in the sense that I think when you see drama in relationships that it's not marriage, I think that you're like, okay, well, maybe it's not meant to work out. But when you see a married couple, you always want them to not have issues, right? So it was a little bit heavier for me. The spice was still there, but it's really towards the end of the book because she finally has enough. He doesn't talk to her. They are basically strangers in a house, and one night she comes in and she's like, I'm leaving you. And the only way that she would agree to like try to make it work is if they went to extreme couples counseling, which was basically her finding like the most far-fetched hippie counselor that they could find and talking about all of their issues. So it was a good book. It was just my least favorite. There was like sexual tension there, but it was almost like angry sexual tension because they just couldn't talk to each other, and it was a lot of miscommunication, which again just was a little bit heavier than the other two, because the other two were just like fun, like, yeah. I still gave this one, I think I gave this one 3.5 stars, and I said the spice was like 3. And then the last one, this one might have been my favorite. I don't know. Tools of Engagement is about Bethany and Wes. Now, Bethany lives in the same town. This is Georgie's sister and Steven's sister, which was Travis's best friend from the first book. And they all work together, with the exception of Georgie, flipping houses. It was a family business, and she is the stager. And in the first book, in Fix Her Up, Bethany and Georgie were never close, and they became close and started this little group with Rosie. And it ended up being pretty much a hit, and it's called the Just Us League, and all the women found out about it. So it was all women. Once a week, they come and they meet at Bethany's house, and they have these meetings, and they're like, tell me something good, and they just kind of build each other up, which I feel like we need more of in today's world, is women building women up. So Bethany is like, has to be perfect at everything, and she decided in this book that she wanted to be more than just a stager. She wanted to try her hand at renovating, actually flipping a house, and her brother said no. So she decides to go off on her own, and in this book, Travis gives Bethany his childhood home, free of charge, to flip it, okay, because it's very rundown. So she decides that she's going to do it because her brother stopped taking her seriously. How many of us have been there, not being taken seriously? And Wes is here from Texas. Now, Wes's sister lives in this town, and she has a daughter who is 5. I have a 5-year-old. And she decides that she needs a break. So she calls her half-brother and says, hey, I need you to come take care of my daughter. He shows up. Yeah, sure. He's never met her before. Shows up. Is like, how can I help? And the sister leaves. So he's basically a single dad to his niece. Doesn't know her, in a town where he doesn't know anybody. And so he's sort of like trying to make it all happen. And through this whole thing, Bethany and Wes actually meet for the first time in this book, and they hate each other. Probably because Bethany has to be perfect at everything, and Wes kind of calls her on her shit. I don't know how else to say it. So they sort of banter back and forth, and I think at one point they're like, they both think that they'll probably end up hooking up, but it's going to be like a hate hookup almost. But they sort of start to have feelings for each other. And there's a lot of drama around Wes's niece because the sister shows up one day and she's using, and Wes is like, you can't see your daughter like this. Like, you need to give me temporary custody. Bethany is planning her sister's wedding. And while she's there, Travis's agent's girlfriend runs like an HGTV show and finds out that Bethany and Steven are siblings, and they are flipping 2 different houses, and all of a sudden they're on a TV show. I know I'm kind of all over the place. It's a really, really good. Wes ends up offering to help her flip, even though he's working for Steven. He leaves working for Steven to go work for Bethany. And while they like hate each other, they also realize that there's more to each other than just their sassy comebacks. So I think this one was probably my favorite, just because this one was, little sister, I'm an adult now. This one, I don't know, I kind of like this one. So overall, I would say, I think I gave this one was 4 stars, 3.5. And I would say the spice was like 3, 4, 4. Spice was good. So if you're looking for like a good, I don't know, just easy read, I think I read most of these in like a day. So good. I did buy her other book. It happened one summer. I just got it in, so I haven't read it. But I really love these books, you guys. They were so good. So good. And you totally fall in love with the characters. Like, all of these book boyfriends, for sure. So if you guys like romance books that have like a little bit of spice to them, these are the way to go. So good. Okay, that's all I have. I was just really excited about that one. I hope you guys enjoy these. If you've read these, what did you think? Which one was your favorite? Which one was your least? Did you read them in order? I need to know all the things. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys. I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.